Hello, good evening. Welcome to a special edition of Look North. As we count down to Christmas, today we're marking St. Nicholas Day with the Ukrainian community in Leeds. It's almost 300 days since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. We'll look at how communities across our region have stepped in to help.
I love Leeds very much because it is a very beautiful city, very comfortable city for me, for baby, very kind people who can help me and my daughter.
We'll also hear from families who welcomed Ukrainian refugees, now asking for more financial help as the cost of living increases.
Hosts are in a very difficult position because the choice is you either struggle financially or you deal with the horrendous guilt of kicking someone out onto the street.
How Yorkshire volunteers are continuing to risk their own lives to take much needed supplies to hospitals in the war zone. And what makes a Ukrainian Christmas? We learned the traditions from one family who've escaped the war and are now living in York.
And after an exceptionally mild start to the week, what are the next few days looking like? Join me for the detailed forecast.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Ukrainian Centre in Leeds. Happy Christmas, or Veselych Sviat, as they say in Ukrainian. They sound absolutely beautiful, don't they? This club and many across our region have become a real sanctuary in recent months for refugees who are trying to make Yorkshire their new home. When the Russians invaded Ukraine, millions were forced to flee. The conflict moved us all. We're going to start tonight's programme with a report from Kathy Killick, looking back at how communities across our region stepped up to help.
Just 5 days since the invasion of Ukraine and the aid starts pouring in. This church in Doncaster was one of the first of many makeshift warehouses as donations piled sky high.
You know, the British people got involved massively. Everybody is asking, everybody wants to help, everybody wants to bring something, everybody wants to do something.
Then the drivers stepped in. Hundreds of convoys left Yorkshire, bound for Poland.
We're expecting to reach the Polish border in about another 4 hours.
So big energy, positive energy, that is unbelievable, really. That is unbelievable.
The plight of refugees horrified and moved us. Hosts across our region welcomed the displaced and traumatised into their homes. I can't put it into words, she says. I can only explain by showing my tears.
It's very difficult, but I'm here for them, my family here for them. There is lovely English people helping around.
Get-togethers and events helped our guests settle and feel welcome.
How do you spell your name?
In Bradford, the council set up English classes for Ukrainians joining the community.
They're learning the language, they could feel part of the community, they could feel part of Bradford, they could feel part of the country.
But as the war continued, outrage grew. Rallies and vigils called for peace. In York, political barriers were set aside as the city's Conservative and Labour MPs stood shoulder to shoulder to condemn the invasion.
When you have war, there is huge human sacrifice going on there as well. We see it on our TV screens daily, and we have to make sure we're out there supporting those Ukrainian people in any way we can.
We want to show that solidarity, to say there is a different way, that he must lay down his arms and find a route to talks and to peace.
While peace seems a long way off, support for Ukraine remains solid here in Yorkshire, both now and as the months of the war roll on. Kathy Killick, BBC Look North.
The Ukrainian Club in Chapeltown has been a focal point for the Ukrainian community for decades. It was established in the late 50s by refugees after the Second World War. And if you look on the walls, it's covered in art, in photos, in embroideries from families who've come through here. And today it continues to be a vital hub for those who are fleeing conflict. Olga is in charge here. Olga, what have the last 9 months been like?
Hard work and hectic, but it's also been wonderful to see people coming in and to sit here and to look at them and just to see how comfortable they've felt in coming in and mixing with other Ukrainians, getting advice from each other and just generally feeling at home.
Saturdays are a big day here, aren't they? Tell me what happens.
Well, we open the doors and everybody can have tea, coffee and just sit and the idea is for them to get together, to meet other Ukrainians so they don't feel isolated, because with Leeds being such a big city, some of them live quite a way away on the outskirts. But they can come in. We have representatives coming in from the council, from the education department and giving talks, advice. And we also have Ukrainian cultural events so they don't feel as if they've come to a strange country, so they can still feel in a little Ukraine here.
And you have a lot of fun, don't you? Last weekend there was St. Nicholas celebration for all the children. Here is what some of the parents told us.
This place is very amazing. You can make a lot of fun and go on a lot of events. They can improve your English, or you can just make fun or make friends. There's a lot of stuff for your kids, and you have a lot of great people.
I love Leeds very much because it is a very beautiful city, a very comfortable city for me, for baby, very kind people who can help me and my daughter.
The New Year is a very big party and celebration in Ukraine when we all sit together with a huge dinner and watching like the countdown until the New Year. And we always think of what will happen next year. And even though New Year haven't started yet, I still think that about the magical teleport, what can just teleport me back home to the huge table and the family around me.
As you can hear there, many families have made the best of it as they can in really difficult circumstances. Olga, what do you make of the support that you've received from Leeds as a whole?
It's been absolutely amazing. I'm not surprised because I can imagine that Leeds people are just so generous. But it's just been the amount of help that we've received. The offers of help has just been overwhelming. And that's all I can say. We're just overwhelmed. Honestly, there's been days when we've just been in tears with, it's not just the things that we get offered, but it's the help that's been offered, even down to doing the garden for us. Anything, any help, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Olga, thank you and keep up the good work. Well, that support has come in, even people opening up their homes. They signed up for the Homes for Ukraine, opening their doors, allowing families to live with them. Well, now many of those host families are saying that they're struggling with the cost of living and they're asking for extra help from the government. The government does say that it will increase support payments to £500 per month, but only once Ukrainian guests have been here for 1 year. Corinne Wheatley reports.
Two families under one roof. Ludmilla and her son Ilya have been living with host Miranda in Sheffield since May.
It runs like a dream. They're part of our family. It's been good. I think we have been extremely lucky.
In summer we go see swimming. This is my new family.
But Miranda says many people hosting Ukrainian refugees are worried that current support payments aren't enough, and that risks living arrangements breaking down.
Some people just literally cannot afford to keep doing it because you get the same hosting money whether you're hosting a single person or a family of 5.
Under the Homes for Ukraine scheme, hosts have been receiving £350 per month. Recently, some councils like Leeds and Calderdale increased this in the light of cost of living, but not all have. Now the government says payments will go up to £500 per month, but only once the guest has been in the UK for a year, which for many will be April or May at the earliest.
The problem is now. You know, in a year's time, people won't be able to host for a year if something doesn't happen now. Now is the crisis. We're already seeing people getting made homeless. Hosts are in a very difficult position because the choice is you either struggle financially or you deal with the horrendous guilt of kicking someone out onto the street.
Ludmila and Miranda plan to stick with things as they are for now, but many Ukrainians are keen to move on to private accommodation.
It's a homework for tomorrow.
Olena struggled for 4 months trying to find a rented home for her family in Sheffield.
It was very difficult. Sometimes I think it's not possible. I every morning get up and look for a new flat. I write. If you spoke with agency, it's like wall.
Anyone on low income would struggle to find a place to live in, to rent. With Ukrainians, the only added complexity is that they would not have credit history or, UK payslips.
The government says £150 million will be available to help house Ukrainians who can't continue to live with sponsors. But refugee support organisations continue to warn there could soon be a sharp rise in the number of people who need to move, and quickly. Corinne Wheatley, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Well, I'm joined now by Julia Vidal from Migration Yorkshire. Julia, we've just heard there about the difficulty for many Ukrainian families to get private rentals, those who've got jobs but still can't secure accommodation. What sort of help's on hand?
So nationally, we've had 150,000 Ukrainians arrive in the UK, and 5,000 of those have come on the family scheme into Yorkshire and Humber, and about 2,000 of those are currently being hosted. It's very difficult. 85% of people are women and children and find it very difficult to get high-paid jobs or on zero-hour contracts, and are finding it really struggling to get onto the rental market because it's so competitive.
I've just heard tonight from a host who says she is willing to be a guarantor for her family who've all got jobs, yet landlords are still saying no. What can be done about that?
That's really difficult. We'd definitely like landlords to engage more and understand that the situation that Ukrainians are in, and that people are prepared to step forward and be guarantors. Local authorities are prepared to offer deposits and rent to help people as well.
We're hearing that from the 1st of January, local authority support will be curbed back because of budgets. What will that mean?
I think for local authorities, it's about a 40% reduction in the tariff, the arrival tariff they get, from £10,500 down to £5,900. The government has announced some additional money, £150 million, to try and prevent some homelessness. And the next financial year, a local authority fund of £500 million, but we only have the headlines, so we don't actually have the details of how that will transpire and how it will be able to support people, and it's nationally, so it'll be interesting how that money is distributed across the country.
Well, hopefully you'll come back in January and tell us a little bit more about that when you know. Julia, thank you for your time. OK, let's take a look at some news away from the Ukrainian centre now. Other stories that are coming into our newsroom today. Steelworkers, including representatives from companies in South Yorkshire, have delivered a petition to Downing Street. 3 steelworkers' unions say soaring energy prices and cheap imported steel are putting the industry in jeopardy, with risks of plant closures and job losses. The government says it's offered help with energy costs and is committed to securing a future for UK steel. A 23-year-old man has been charged with threatening behaviour after eggs were thrown at the King in York. Patrick Thelwell was arrested last month and is due before York magistrates on January the 20th. A drink driver who killed 1 passenger and seriously injured another has been jailed for 8.5 years. Daniel Crawshaw was visibly intoxicated when stopped by police after crashing into a wall near Huddersfield in 2020. 20-year-old Keegan Edgill died in the collision. Crawshaw from Barnsley had consumed 10 pints before the crash. Leeds Rhinos legend Kevin Sinfield is joining the England Rugby Union set-up as a defence coach. He's been doing the same role at Leicester and is following the head coach, Steve Bothwick, to head up the England team. And Barnsley were the only one of our Football League teams to record a win at the weekend, though a number of games were called off because of frozen pitches. OK, back to the Ukrainian centre now, and today we're here because traditionally it's St. Nicholas Day, and that's when children in Ukraine would usually receive their gifts. Now, the traditional Christmas Day, if you like, is on January the 6th because they follow the Julian calendar, but lots of families also receive gifts and had traditional meals on the same day as us, the 25th of December. Of course, today it's going to be very different, isn't it, for those who are here and those in Ukraine, as well, as many of them will be thinking of family and friends who are in really difficult circumstances at the moment. We're going to hear now from Olivia Richwald, who's looking at the traditional Christmas in Ukraine.
Meet Maria, Andriy, Darina, Alexandra and Roman. They fled Ukraine when the war started and now live in York, staying with 2 host families. Alexandra is working as a teaching assistant and Roman is in sales.
Mixed feelings, because from the one side we are safe, we are all together with my wife and my children, and from the other side, from the other hand, we can't see our friends, we can't see our parents. My mom and dad now in Lviv, they've got electricity only 4 hours a day.
Roman and Alexandra wanted to show us a traditional Ukrainian Christmas.
We've got very good poppy seeds here, so it's almost ready.
It starts with a fast on Christmas Eve. Adults don't eat and only drink water. And as the first star rises in the night sky, there's a holy dinner shared with family.
12 dishes, because Jesus has 12 apostles.
We put garlic on each corner of the table, under the tablecloth, to keep the evil spirits out of our house.
Preparing the food for that dinner takes all day, and everything is made without meat and milk.
Dumpling called varenik, roll very thin, then cut circle. Inside we put boiled potato with salt and cloves. We haven't Christmas mood because it's not very good, because we're not at home, it's another country, but we're together, healthy, and I think we are happy.
There are now about 400 Ukrainians living in York. Some of them put on a free Christmas nativity for the local community.
So why we decide to make this nativity performance? Because we want, firstly, show gratitude to the UK people, and also we want to show our culture, we want to show our heritage.
The Ukrainian nativity has a similar storyline to the British nativities the audience are used to. A translation helps, and afterwards, Ukrainian Christmas food is served.
Yes, I loved it. I loved every minute. It was very traditional and very atmospheric.
I thought it was very good, but I didn't really understand what they were saying that much. I like the singing and dance.
This year it's so important for us. Hope for peace, hope for victory.
Donations were collected to send to hospitals and museums back in Ukraine. A Christmas message of support, of solidarity and of sharing. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, York.
I'd like to introduce you now to Julia Nelson and the Dinko family who are living with her, and also Anna and her daughter Yara, who are living in York. Julia, Christmas is usually a time, isn't it, when we look back on the year that's been. What's it been like for you, opening your home to the family?
It's been wonderful. It's been strange, it's been busy, it's been crazy, and I've found all sorts of things, like my food bill's gone down, not up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unusual.
So many people cooking in the house, there's always something ready, there's always something in the fridge, and I've learnt lots of new things to cook.
And Sonia, how about you? How are you feeling about your first Christmas in the UK?
So I'm very, very excited, because it's actually my first Christmas in England. So, and I'm preparing some presents for Julia and her family. So, yeah.
And your family back home, you still have family back there. What's the situation with them at the moment?
So, it's still bad, but they don't lose their hope, yeah. So, Russia bombs Ukraine constantly, but yeah.
But you're in contact with your family and, of course, sending lots of love and best wishes to them. And Julia, how will you be celebrating Christmas this year, then?
We'll be having a Ukrainian-English fusion. I'll have the English part, the usual turkey and trimmings and Yorkshire puddings, of course, and we'll be having vareniki and some other dishes
So, for example, kutsa, which is green wheat with some drained plums. Yeah,
sounds
and honey.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Anna, hello, lovely to see you. You moved to York with Yara, didn't you, 6 months ago? We saw you in that piece there, setting up the nativity. Why did you want to bring Ukrainian traditions to Yorkshire?
I think it's very colourful and very old tradition, and we want to show it for other people, for UK people, because they are very support us, and we want to give them, take them a little piece from our culture.
Yara is obviously only young and so excited about Christmas, but this will be a difficult year, won't it? Your husband's back in Kiev and so are your parents.
Yes, my mom was under occupation in Hostomel, it's near Bucha, and when she was freed, it was we were very happy. So yes, for us it's very hard time, but we are strong.
And will you get chance to speak to your husband on Christmas Day?
So I hope, because but it's after Russian shootings and shelling bombs, we don't know if would be in this time electricity and power in Kiev or not.
Well, we're sending all our best wishes to your family back there. Thank you, Anna. And happy Christmas, Yara. I know you're excited, aren't you? OK, well, we're going to have a look now at organisations from across our region who've been working flat out to send some much-needed aid to the front line after the Russian invasion. In the last couple of weeks, the Haworth and Worth Valley Rotary Club have sent some generators to Ukraine, where they're having to cope with power cuts while temperatures have fallen well below freezing. The club have also sent vital hospital equipment for new mums and their newborn babies. Meanwhile, in Huddersfield, people have been collecting donations and packing shoeboxes for 80 children at a special educational needs school in Ukraine. The Huddersfield Ukrainian Club are sewing warm clothes. They're sending toiletries as well and toys so that kids will have presents on Christmas Day. The appeal has been running for a few years now, but they think this year the children will appreciate it more than ever.
I spoke with the teachers and head teachers, so they told me stories, and it's absolutely terrible. We really want these children to feel loved, especially at the moment, especially this Christmas, and when the war in the country. And they might feel scared, they might feel terrified. So we just want to send a bit of love, a bit of care to them.
Well, Stuart Paver returned from Kherson last week. He's been on 6 visits now to Ukraine. What did you take this time, Stuart?
We took 1,300 parcels of food, some stretchers, NATO stretchers, and 3 generators.
And what's the situation in Kherson at the moment?
It was a lot more lively than the past visits because we had active artillery, air raids, mines, everything. That was lots of destruction.
And you continue to go out there, though, Stuart, don't you? When all of these attacks are happening, why are you doing it?
They deserve the help. They deserve more help than we can give. So we're working with the Pavers Foundation and some international donors as well to create a United Nations that actually works.
And very briefly, what are people needing at the moment out there?
Basics, food, heat, energy, anything that you can get to them. It's some people that have been under occupation just have nothing.
Yeah. Stuart, you've been doing a great job. Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming in to chat to us. Well, we are going to hear some traditional Ukrainian music shortly, but first let's cross over to Paul and find out what the weather's like here in Yorkshire for the next few days.
Thanks, Amy. Well, it's been exceptionally mild, hasn't it? 14, 15 degrees in some spots, but that has caused a few problems up in Wensleydale. A lot of snow on Saturday, and then that mild air has come in. Let's have a look at those pictures, which hopefully shows some very swollen scenes there. The River Yore's in the area. I don't know whether that's what's broken its banks, but this is a result of very frozen ground. The snow's melted rapidly. It can't soak in, and it's just completely run off the land. So problems up there. There was a lot of snow on Saturday. I saw reports of over 9 inches of level snow. So quite a turnaround in Wensleydale in the Halls area. So I think this week we can forget the snow. we're just looking at unsettled conditions, west to southwesterly winds coming back in from the southwest, or staying from the southwest. That's what's called the mild air. Tomorrow, mostly dry with some sunshine, eventually temperatures drifting back to near normal levels. But as you can see, one weather front after another sweeping in from the southwest, so rain never too far away. But like tomorrow, it does look set to be a lovely day. It could turn out to be the best day of the week. Now, there's been a lot of cloud today. There's some patchy rain showing up on the radar picture. I think the cloud will actually break up. We've got one weather system. At the moment, it looks as though it's going to stay just to the southeast of us tonight. So the rain basically to the southeast, to the northwest, it's dry or becomes dry with clear spells, and still a relatively mild night, lows ranging from 6 to 9 degrees, and it will stay on the windy side. So tomorrow's high water times, Filey at just before 1 o'clock in the morning, and again at 20 to 2. So it really looks set to be a lovely day tomorrow. Yes, there could be 1 or 2 showers in the west. Otherwise, it's dry and bright with long spells of sunshine. There you can see just a hint of the odd shower coming in, but you can consider yourself very unlucky if you catch one of those. And temperatures still above average for the middle of December. Quite a fresh breeze, highs of 9 or 10. Feeling very pleasant in that winter sunshine, and that the clear skies will last into tomorrow evening before the next weather system comes up, and I think that will bring rain on Tuesday night. So a wet start to Wednesday morning, and then skies brighten and becomes dry with some sunshine. Thursday, overnight rain again clearing. Sunshine and showers on Thursday. Friday could turn wet from the southwest, and then there is some uncertainty for the Christmas weekend. But at the moment, it looks windy with sunny spells and scattered showers. That's the forecast. Back to Amy.
Paul, thank you. Well, it's going to be a very bittersweet Christmas for many here. While they are safe, their thoughts will be with their family and friends back home. From all of us up north, we wish you the best for the coming year for you and your families. Happy Christmas, or Wesołych Świąt. I hope I've said that right. I'm going to leave you tonight with some festive music from Julia Lordi Bracia, which means brotherhood. From all of us here, good night.
Głęboki doliny stała się nowina, де пречиста Діва Мати породила сина, де пречиста Діва Мати породила сина, а як Мамцю ж моя, мамцю, дай завжди